Just a quick housekeeping note before I get started. Because I like question and answer sessions, because it lets me know what people want to know from me, I like to do those, but you won't have time today. So there's an index card at everybody's table, and if you just, any questions you might have for me, if you just write them on those index cards, and put your email address and your first name, I'll be more than happy to answer all those questions through email. A lot of people congratulate me and praise me for having accomplished the things that I have, but let me start by saying that all the praise should go to God. I can appreciate that I have been blessed. And a lot of people ask me, Frank, what was the one thing that turned around? Well, that incident and the things that happened after that, it caused me to start to think differently about some things. And those things included thinking differently about myself. Ultimately, it caused me to realize that I had to take responsibility for myself. It wasn't the judge, the jury, or the prosecutor who put me in prison. It was me. I was responsible for where I was. The choices and decisions I had made was why I was in prison. It was a lesson that I had to learn, and it is one that every person has to learn. Where you are in life right now is the results of choices and decisions you made yesterday. Now, I love to share some more stories from my book, because in my book I tell you about a young boy who actually tried to escape by climbing over a fence on a gun spree, and that didn't go well. But and I tell you about how I ended up on death row for 2 weeks. But my time is short, and I really have to share with you a few thoughts about a major problem that we face in this nation, and even more importantly in North Carolina, and why that problem should be important to you as elected officials. And that is the problem of recidivism. Recidivism is a term used to define the revolving door of going in prison, getting out, going in, getting out. To begin this discussion, I need a little help from you. I want everyone to raise their hands if you know somebody in prison, know someone who's ever been in prison, family member, friend, just somebody in the community. I'd just like you to raise your hand if you know anybody in prison. Anybody. Now, all of you know me and I've been there, so I don't see why every hand is not raised. But at any rate. But roughly there's about 300 people, and if you saw the hands, just about everybody's hand went up. That's about 300 people. So for the example, my example, we're going to use 300 inmates. Now, national data says that somewhere between 40 and 80%, depending on the study that you read, between 40 to 80% of inmates who get out of prison go back. Now, for the sake of this example, I'm going to just go in the middle and use 60%. So 300 inmates, 60% are going to go back. That's 180 inmates who will go back to prison. According to research, it costs $29,965 to house, clothe, feed, and take care of one inmate for 1 year. Now you do the math. 180 inmates times $30,000 a year is $5,400,000 of the North Carolina budget just based on this room alone. Now here's what you need to understand. In a 3-year period between 2004 and 2007, there were 22,406 inmates released in from North Carolina prisons. That's almost 7,500 inmates a year. Using our 60% return rate, that means 4,500 of them will return to prison. Again, you do the math. 4,500 inmates times $30,000 a year equals $135 million of North Carolina's budget goes to taking care of inmates who return to the system. Let me assure you of one thing. If I don't know anything else, I know how to get out of prison and stay out of prison. And I can teach that to anyone who wants to learn. It's a process. I had to learn it. and the guys in prison have to learn it so that they can get out of prison and stay out of prison. The kids in high school and middle grade have to learn it so they can avoid going to prison in the first place. I have written a book about this journey that I had to take and to learn all these principles. And so I'm just trying to get that book out there. I just need help getting the book to the masses so that they can learn these things. And when I say it's a process, I want you to understand something. I didn't go to prison today and become a model inmate the next day. I went to prison with the same arrogant, cocky attitude I had when I was on the street. But once I took responsibility for myself and my actions, then I was able to focus on other things. I could focus on my attitude, my choices, and my emotions. I could concentrate on my character, my principles, and my paradigm. If you want to change behavior, you have to change a person's paradigm. You have to change the way they look at things. Then they'll change their behavior. I could evaluate my choices and learn how to make good and positive decisions once I took responsibility and started on that journey. And learning these lessons did not just help me get out of prison and stay out of prison. They also helped me build a business from scratch, that started from scratch, to a business that now spans 2 different states. They helped me to get elected as a mayor in a county that had never had an African American mayor, and certainly had never had a mayor who had a 10-year felony conviction. All of these lessons and some more in my book.
Thank you, Mayor Deese. What an inspiration. We never know who or where we can touch someone else's life and make a difference. That is our goal and our objective each and every day. And thank you so much. I know you've reached very many. Today,